Hey guys, it's Mahel here, and today I'm going to be doing a highly requested video, and that is my first year experience at the University of Nottingham and what I thought of it. Now, before we get into the video, I'd just like to start with a quick few notes. If you do want to follow my university journey and see what the life of a University of Nottingham student is like, then make sure to add me on Snapchat. That will be on screen right here, I believe. And that is Mahel Khan on Snapchat. You will see the latest stories regarding university and many more topics, but generally you'll just be able to follow me around and stay up to date and see more than just what you see on YouTube. And if you haven't seen it already, then make sure to also check out my first semester review at the University of Nottingham. You can check that out by clicking the iCard right here. And that video will also cover quite a lot, and I'm not going to be repeating many points that I've already covered. So if this video does seem a bit confusing to you, it's because you haven't watched the previous video. So make sure to watch the previous video before watching this one. Without further ado, I'm gonna actually start with freshers quickly, as it is still part of the year. I did cover it in the previous video, but freshers consisted of 4 nights, and they were nights that were ran by the University of Nottingham Students' Union. So if you see anything else like Freshers UV Rave or anything that's not run by the Students' Union, it is not an official Freshers event, and I will be making a video regarding Freshers entirely, explaining that. However, in terms of the official Freshers nights, you had Back to School at PRYZM, Baywatch at Rock City, Zoo at Rock City again, and then last but not least, Glitter at Ocean. Despite being able to go to all of these clubs afterwards, you do only get to be a fresher once, and so the university experience as a fresher during Freshers Week was a unique one. As for how clubs nights were after Freshers, I would say they were better, but I'm going to touch on that later on when I talk about nightlife as a whole as a topic. Whilst I still talk to people that I met during Freshers Week, most of the people that I met I don't talk to anymore, and some of them I literally only talk to once during that week and never again, and simply follow on social media. So if you're going into university as a fresher, be wary of that. You're going to talk to a lot of people, but not all of them will stick around in your life. Some, like I said, you will literally only see in Freshers Week and you'll never see again. So make sure to try and bond with as many people as you can, and don't think that one set of people is going to be your friends for the entire university 3 years, because chances are they might decide that they found a group with someone else and then literally stay to themselves. So that's something I learned, because again, a lot of people that I met during Freshers I don't talk to anymore, and that is something again I'm going to cover more in depth in my Freshers video, but that's going to be Freshers done with right there. Moving on to my course, which is the most important thing. I didn't introduce it before, so I'm going to introduce it now. I am a second year management student at the University of Nottingham, and I previously had just finished first year, having achieved a 2-2, and that means that I was able to progress onto second year. So I'll be starting second year in September. We're filming this video in August. Although 2-2 isn't the best grade, I know that, it's also worth mentioning that the first year when doing management does not count towards your overall degree grade. So even if I got a 3rd, it wouldn't count towards my overall grade. I mean, yes, your first year grade can be important if you want to do a placement or a year in industry, but my course does not include that as a compulsory option, so I'm not as fussed as someone else might be. So therefore, I'm alright with a 2-2, but that is what I achieved in first year for those of you who don't know. But I also did do a reaction video to my first year results, so if you haven't seen that, then make sure to go onto my channel and check that out as well. So as you may be aware, the University of Nottingham has 3 main campuses in the UK. They are University Park campus, which is the main campus, Jubilee campus, which is basically the second main campus, and last but not least, Sutton Bonington campus. My lectures were on Jubilee campus rather than the main campus, as Nottingham University Business School is located on Jubilee campus. Despite not being taught on the main campus, NUBS has some very great facilities on Jubilee, and so it wasn't that much of a problem. For example, they have their big lecture halls, especially B52. You have smaller seminar rooms, which are quite modern as well. Not to mention B52 looking very modern. You have Business School South, Business School North, so 2 different buildings. Both again, very modern and a lot of space for you to study in. And you even have computer rooms specifically for business school students, which means that you don't have to go to a library to access a computer, and you don't even have to own one. If you wanted to use one, then you can go to the business school to work there. Speaking of libraries, the business school does have its own library, and I found this to be very important at times, especially during exam season, as if you went onto main campus, you'll see that both Hallwood Library and George Green Library tended to be very busy, and if you were doing late night sessions, then the hopper buses run only till around 11 o'clock, meaning if you were on campus at around 3 o'clock, you'd be forced to pay for an Uber, and doing this, having lived at St. Peter's Court every day, was not going to be the one. So sometimes I opted to just study at business school library instead, where there tended to be space, and again, there were computers available there, so I didn't always have to even carry my own laptop around, which was very handy. There is also the Jubilee Library on Jubilee campus, but again, that tended to be quite busy as well, as it was the only other library on Jubilee campus available to everyone. So that is why sometimes, instead of going there, I decided to go to the business school library, as that library is only for business school students. After all, I believe the business school is the 3rd biggest school in numbers at the University of Nottingham, with engineering coming first. Don't quote me on that, but that just shows the significance of the business school, and it makes me proud to actually be a business school student at the University of Nottingham so far. In terms of content, first year seemed quite easy, but that is probably because they treat first year as a foundation year to prepare you for 2nd and 3rd year. But I approached this year in too much of a relaxed manner, and I know this is something that I can't do in 2nd and 3rd year, hence why I only achieved a 2-2 without really trying, but I'm not gonna call myself out on that, that'd be stupid. So hopefully in 2nd and 3rd year, if things are as easy as they were in 1st year, but I'm actually putting the effort in, then it shouldn't be a problem to achieve a 2-1 or higher. A criticism I will make about management in 1st year is that I felt that there was too much of a focus on ethics. The reason I say this is because there was a subject called Work and Society, and this was basically ethics and a bit of psychology. And then there was another module called Consumers and Markets, and again, this was basically ethics. And then there was even another module called Organisational Behaviour, which was basically a 1500 piece of coursework, 100% worth in terms of weighting, and that again was ethics. You literally, as the name suggests, explain behavior in an organization, and that's down to ethics. So for example, one of the case studies we were given were about Amazon and how they treat their workers, and I know it does relate to a business sense, but it just felt like there was too much of a focus on ethics. But again, first year doesn't really count, and we got through the year, so hopefully it's not the same next year. After all, I did get to choose my own modules for next year, meaning that most of my modules next year are 100% coursework assessed. So we're gonna see how much of a focus there is on ethics next year and in 3rd year. At the end of the year, I only had 4 exams to sit, and this felt quite manageable. No pun intended, by the way. Something I will say about the business school is that if I ever needed support, even though it was 1st year and even though 2nd and 3rd year students kind of get a priority, If I ever needed support, then I was always able to reach out to my personal tutor if needed via email, or even book in a meeting with him. Or I was able to just send an email over to my lecturers or see them in between lectures, whether it be during a break within a lecture or after lecture, and they would be more than happy to help. So in terms of teaching support, I would say in first year it was good, but as I said, the year didn't really matter, so it will come down to whether in second and third year when I really need that help and I'm having coursework checked over and over and over to see if they can really offer some solid advice to help me get minimum 2-1s. And lastly but not least, regarding the course, I liked how assessments were basically marked within more or less 3 weeks, meaning that, let's say my last exam was on the 1st of June and I found out my results for end of year exams on around the 22nd or 27th of June. I can't remember which one, but it was around that period, and that is just great because literally it felt like I hadn't even finished university and I already got my results. We're going to move on to sport, societies, events and jobs. And previously I mentioned that I used to play volleyball engage as part of University of Nottingham sports engage program, but I say used to because, well, that didn't last for very long, as there was usually a conflict between my schedule and when engage was on. For example, whether it be a social event that was on at the same time, or if I was in a different town or city, that being hometown Dartford or at my uncle's in Birmingham, which was very unfortunate, and I know it was actually kind of a mistake. It's always good to look back at your year, and looking back at first year, I'm going to say it right now, it was a mistake to actually go to social events instead of going to volleyball engage, as I did enjoy it whilst I went, and with engage they have their own social events which I missed out on because I wasn't an active member of the volleyball engage team. And therefore I'm going to make it my priority to go to volleyball engage next year and go as often as I can, not only to be able to meet more people, but to also have fun and just get that little bit of extra exercise in, because whilst I'm doing quite well this summer whilst at home, the university year kind of messed things up a bit in terms of physical activity. I mean, I was going gym, but I wasn't going every day like I am at home. And when I went, it wasn't 100%, whereas at home it has been. I paid £209 for a University of Nottingham sport membership, and this included access to all 3 campus gyms, which I thought was really good for value, because not only is that cheap, it means that if I was on Jubilee campus after a lecture, I could just go gym there. And let's say I had loads of time to the point that I wanted to trek to David Ross Sports Village, which is the main gym and sports village, then I would be able to use the gym there. Not only this, the membership also includes a free BUCS Universal card, and what this does is it gives you access to, I think, 67 other universities' gyms. So when I went to Birmingham to visit a friend or visit my uncle, I was able to use the Aston University gym completely free of charge just by showing my card as well as my university card. It really was as simple as that, and that was phenomenal and came in clutch because, well, I don't like taking days off, and sometimes I'd even go to Birmingham for an entire week, so that meant that I was able to just go gym whilst I'm in a different city. In terms of other societies, I was automatically part of the Business Management and Leadership Society, as well as the Nottingham Economics and Finance Society. However, I didn't engage with either of these, and that is something that I regret and will try to do next year. That includes the socials, so both of the societies held socials, but I did not go to either of their socials, which is quite strange because the ideal of first year would be to join a society and get to know people with similar interests, and being a business society, this left me in a position where I don't actually know too many people on my course, and that is something I'm going to try and change next year. I was a digital ambassador for the university for the year, and you may have seen me feature on their social media quite a few times. However, this is something that I am no longer in capacity of, and this means that I'm able to post a bit more freely. But I'm going to make another video where I talk about this more. We came to a mutual agreement at the end of the year that we should part ways due to a conflict of interest between my YouTube interest and the university's digital interest. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'm going to leave it for another video. That was one of my jobs, and I was also paid to post for the university. And another job that I have as of now, I'm not sure if I'll have it for much longer if I'm honest, is I am a brand and insight ambassador for the University of Nottingham Students' Union. And because of that, I can't actually speak out against the Students' Union. And with me having mentioned events before, there was a summer formal for St. Peter's Court, but this was arranged by the Students' Union. And so whilst I hold this position, I am not going to comment on that formal for now. And this is just me being honest with you guys and girls. So now moving on to one of the more important aspects of the university life in first year, and that is nights out. So clubbing or just general nights out. So I actually, and this is probably expected, went out less in second semester than in first semester. There were a number of reasons why, and one of them was that I'd already been through it in first semester. So to go through it as much in second semester was a bit like, and then there was money, and it's just like, sometimes you'd actually just prefer to stay in rather than go out all the time. You'll get to that point at university where you can literally lay there and do absolutely nothing for the whole day and you'll be fine with it. As I previously mentioned, I could say that the nights out in first semester were actually more enjoyable in second semester, but overall in terms of going out, I would say that the normal club nights out were better than the freshers nights out. However, the freshers experience, like I said before, was unique and something that I'll always remember. And I'm going to even be doing it again in September due to where I'm living. So if you do want to see videos regarding freshers, then make sure to subscribe and turn post notifications on by clicking the bell below, and so that you can stay up to date with that. There were so many clubs to choose from, including but not limited to Ink, Rock City, Trent SU, I actually have to read this, Stealth, Pom Pom, Trade, Ocean, PRYZM, and more. So I just named 8 clubs alone, and there are more. Whether you may call them a bar or you'll call them a club, that's up to you. But the point is, I just named 8 definite clubs right there. And that is just simply amazing because I had so much choice in both first semester and second semester. And it also gave me room to have a rotation in each semester, meaning that it didn't really become repetitive for me. First semester was basically Ink week in, week out, as I instantly fell in love with the place after going there for the first time. But in second semester, I decided to mix it up a bit. So Ink was somewhere that I visited less frequently, but still visited. But then I added Rock City and Trent SU into the mix, and sometimes went Ocean as well, and the occasional Stealth session as well. My favourite club in Nottingham after first year was definitely either Ink or Rock City. And to be fair, this is actually quite a surprise because when I first started university, I was like, Ink is my definite favourite. There is nothing that beats it. But after second semester, I started to appreciate Rock City more and more and more. And now I'm actually unsure which one I like more. But all I know is that I'll be going to PRYZM more in second year. So if you're watching this video and you're at the University of Nottingham or Nottingham Trent University and you're going to be at PRYZM and you see me, then, you know, make sure to say hello. My most notable night out was when Gorgon City performed at Ink, and my God, this was a phenomenal night. And I'm actually going to throw in a couple of clips of that night right now. As you can see, that was honestly just sublime, and I wish I could relive that night. But nevertheless, it's all good because in second year, I've already booked events to see people like Sonny Fodera again, who I saw previously in Stealth Nottingham, and people like Andy C and others. It's so good that there's always something going on in Nottingham, because there were so many events that I didn't go to as well, such as Mackie G at Brickworks, at Detonate Festival, and so much more. A mistake that I made was not going out with my flatmates that much. So I actually went out with someone on my course and someone that attends Nottingham Trent University. We kind of became a circle of three, and we just went out together all the time, and I kind of completely disregarded my flatmates when it came to going out. And I actually regret this because my flatmates are actually quite nice and sociable people, and we got on, and well, I can't say the same for everyone else that at St. Peter's Court. For example, the person that I know in the flat that was below me, he had a flatmate that literally was hated by everyone to the point that she moved to a different flat within the first 3 months of uni. So I was fortunate, and it's something that I should have just appreciated a little more. However, that's not to say that I won't be hitting up my former flatmates in second year for a night out, because I definitely will be. If clubbing isn't your scene, then there are multiple pubs and bars to go to. There's even like 3 or 4 Wetherspoons in Nottingham that you can choose from, all within close proximity, and that is very nice if you're someone that loves a spoon sesh. But to wrap up the clubbing section of this video, I'm just going to include a few clips from nights out throughout the year and just give you a feel of the nightlife in Nottingham, at least what I saw during first year. Moving on to my accommodation, I stayed at an accommodation called St. Peter's Court. This was a self-catered option that is owned by Unite students. However, it is recognised by the University of Nottingham Students' Union as a whole. It's just not owned by the University of Nottingham as, for example, Nightingale Hall is. I couldn't be happier with the accommodation, to be honest, because for the price I paid, so I paid £5,800 for 44 weeks, meaning I didn't have to move out every holiday, and I didn't have to pay for 51 weeks where I'd basically be paying for a month to not live in it. But with that money, I got a double bed ensuite room, and I also got quite a big kitchen. I was staying in the old phase, so the old block, and personally I think the old block is actually better than the new block at St. Peter's Court, because not only do the flats usually have more rooms, meaning you have more flatmates, but like I said, the kitchens are bigger and the rooms also tend to be bigger. Sure enough, they're not as modern, but you do get a bigger room, and I would say that is better. Not only that, the study room at St. Peter's Court is also in the old block. In fact, it was actually in the same block that I was living in, so I would literally walk out my door and be facing the study room. It was really great. So let's say you wanted a late night study session and you're in the old phase, you literally do not have to move that much to get there, whereas if you were at the new phase, you had to walk across a bridge and quite some distance to get to the study room. Although St. Peter's Court was quite distant from University Park, when I say distant, I probably mean like a 25 to 30 minute walk, it wasn't a problem because Unite students ran a free bus service from Monday to Friday, one going from University to St. Peter's Court and then to City Centre, and then the other one in the opposite direction. So I was able to actually get a bus from St. Peter's Court directly to campus, and honestly that alleviated any of the problems with living distant from main campus. Not only this, there was also the L12 bus that you were able to use for free using your university card, and this ran from Monday to Saturday, and let's say that bus wasn't coming for time because it was an hourly bus, you were able to walk 10 minutes to Jubilee campus and use a hopper bus to get to University Park campus for free as well, and that ran from Monday to Saturday. St. Peter's Court was also in a very ideal location in the sense that if you walked 5 minutes one way, you'd have a B&M, a Audi and more, and then if you walked 5 minutes in the other way, which was the Jubilee campus direction, you'd have Raleigh Park, Nottingham 2, you'd have a Subway, Domino's, Walk and Go, Lidl, loads of takeaways and more. So it was literally bang in the center of everything you needed, and it was just perfect. And next year I'll actually be living quite close to St. Peter's Court, but not at St. Peter's Court because second years can't live there anymore. And I'm really gutted because if it were up to me, I would actually live at St. Peter's Court again. So if you're a fresher watching this and you've got SPC as your option, be very happy, as my first year experience at that accommodation was truly great, and I'll definitely remember my experience there. So I've mentioned campus a few times, however, I'm not going to talk about campus in this video, as if you want a true feel of my experience at first year on campus, then you're able to watch my vlogs back, as I did often vlog on campus. And not only this, if you watched the previous video regarding my first semester experience, I do actually talk about the campuses more in that video, so it doesn't really make sense to go over campuses in this video. But like I said, if you just want a feel of the campuses before you come, especially if you're an international student and you don't want to get a flight over to see Nottingham, then make sure to watch my vlogs back that are under a playlist called University Guide, and you'll be able to see for yourself what life on campus is like and how I found it. So this video has gone on for long enough, and I'm going to be providing you with my overall thoughts now. And I will say that I enjoyed first year, and this was a relief because before choosing the University of Nottingham, I didn't actually check out the university, so I didn't visit, I didn't go to an open day, none of that. And I also chose my accommodation blindly, as I didn't visit that either. So I'm glad that both options worked out nicely. If there's anything to note and just be aware of, then it's that to me, first year was a learning curve and I made mistakes within the year, but I'm gonna learn from it for next year. But that's not to say that I regret some of the things I did, because they'll work out for the better when I go into second year and third year. And honestly, it prepared me for both the academic side of university and the social side of university, as like I said, first year is basically a foundation year, or more for tester year. We're gonna call it the try before you buy year, because if you want to drop out, first year is the way to do it. However, if you're satisfied, then you're gonna buy into it and go into second and third year where it actually counts and you can't turn back. I can't stress this enough, but first year went so quickly. Honestly, it does not feel like that. A-level results day was almost a month ago and freshers was 11 months ago. And when I say a month ago, I meant a year ago rather, for A-level results day. But just make the most of first year if you're watching this and going into first year, because honestly, you're gonna love it, hopefully, and it will be a memorable experience that you can only live once, because again, you can live freshers over and over again, but you can only be a fresher once. I'm going to continue to vlog the university experience throughout second year. So again, if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe and turn post notifications on so that you don't miss out on that. And also, if you want to see more regarding university and what the University of Nottingham is like, then make sure to add me on Snapchat and Instagram. That is Mahel Khan. And I'm gonna wrap up the video here. If you did enjoy it, then make sure to leave a like, comment below and subscribe, and turn post notifications on by clicking the bell. It really does help me, but it also ensures that you do not miss a single video when it is out. Make sure to follow me on social media. That's at Mahel Khan on both Instagram and Snapchat, official Mahel Khan on Facebook, and Mahel X on Twitter. Let me know what other videos you want to see from me. After all, I am dedicated to bringing you a video, as I am literally uploading at 2:52 in the morning. That is why I'm not as loud as possible, because I don't want to wake anyone up. But serious dedication this month. I'm going to be uploading as many videos as I can to help you guys and girls prepare for university. But let me know if there's any videos you want to see specifically from me in the comments below or on my social media links. They will be in the description as well. But yeah, this has been it, guys and girls. This has been Mahel, a now second year management student at the University of Nottingham. I hope to see you soon, and I'm out. Peace.